Alright, here we are. As you can see, no leaks. Brand new oil pan. No leaks in the dipstick tube. Put a new O-ring on it. And I also put some RTV on it just to be sure. I hear no exhaust leaks. I had to reuse those gaskets, so I was worried about them leaking also. Put some of the red RTV on there, cleaned them up lightly with some sandpaper and put them back. The whole entire subframe on this was down. You can see the grease from where I lowered it. You gotta drop it down to get to the oil pan. Used to leak from this corner real bad. And went ahead and did the rear main seal. In there, it dropped the whole transmission down. Painted the whole exhaust while I had it down. Why not, right? All the way to the back. Everything was greased. A lot of love. A lot of love went into this. A lot of wiping down. A lot of cleaning. The whole subframe was caked. I still have to do these inner tie rods and dust boots, which I already have. But the shop that does my alignments for me needs to get their alignment rack repaired, so I'm going to wait for them to do that, and then I'll replace those. If you see the blue, that's the bracket that the oil filter housing bolts to the side of the block with. That bracket was leaking badly. The power steering pump was also replaced. They had a ground over here. Go into that motor mount bracket into the frame. That needed to be replaced, so I replaced that. This little bit of drip right here is because I just topped off the overflow tank on the radiator and a little bit trickled down. But we got no leaks at all. Looks beautiful, nice and clean. This is the 2002 and 2001. They did a facelift on them, and they upgraded the actual angel eye headlights. This one's got a nice lip on it too. Valve cover gasket was done. And if you see what I got going on here, this would normally run down under the intake to what we call the PCV valve. Has a plastic diaphragm in there that has a bad reputation for going out. Could end up costing you the engine if it did in the right circumstances. So I went ahead and replaced it. I bypassed it, eliminated it. With this system here, you can see I have a clear sight glass. I can see inside. It has a drain on the bottom underneath where I can drain it when it starts to fill up. So I got an adapter here to go from the bigger hose to a smaller one into here, and then the same thing over here. If you can see the adapter right there, to go from the bigger hose to the smaller hose, which is running to the intake for suction. So it's coming out over here to the oil catch can. And I went ahead and went the extra mile and plugged up the top bung holes on the intake, all 6 of them, and got that out of the way, so that's no longer needed. And if you look straight down, where the PCV valve used to go to the bottom of the dipstick, I got that blocked off too. And that freshly painted oil pan's looking real good. I also did something that most people don't do, maybe just because they don't think about it. But I have a wire here, if you can see it. And I just got it pinned up into this. And if you look down, it runs to my starter. And the reason why I did that is because it's going to the signal wire. Let's see if I can get a light on it better for you. It's going to the signal wire on the starter. So in the future, if I ever have a no start issue, I want to test if I'm getting power to the signal wire on the starter. I got that easily accessible jumper wire right here. Where I don't have to try to go all the way down under the intake to get to it. So I still have to put my air filter, cabin filters back up in the corners here. Be putting some new wipers on it and all that good stuff. I was just topping off brake fluid and everything else. We went in and replaced the mass airflow. I went with the eBay one, and so far so good. I did replace the intake boot also. It had cracking underneath and I had an intake leak from there. The bottom portion of it was good. While this intake was out, the whole entire intake was clean, and I had a carbon cleaning on the inside of the intake ports into the head also. Radiator was done, water pump, thermostat, all of the above was done. All new oxygen sensors, I numbered them just for future diagnostic reasons. I'm debating whether I'm going to put the engine cover back on. Here's the reason why. All it does is retain heat, make tiny little wires run hotter than they need to, go brittle over time, and coils run hotter. If you can see, I replaced some of these coils also, that's why they're numbered. And there's also a cover that comes over here, and it's more of an aesthetic thing. They mechanically really have no purpose. And one day when I go to sell the car, maybe I go to a car show or something, I might pop them on there. But for everyday use driving around, I'm going to go ahead and run this thing without it. Something, to me personally, something more attractive about an exposed engine where you can see everything happening. and also have easy access if something were to happen on the side of the road. I don't got to waste time pulling engine covers up. But I live in Florida. It's the Sunshine State, guys. It's hot out here, and under temp hoods here is a lot different than up north in colder climate. And I'm going to go ahead and run without those engine covers on. I want to give a quick promo to the guys at Triangle Auto Parts. If you're in the Central Florida area, they're in Winter Park. Google them. Pablo, Steve, all of them. Everybody on staff is amazing there. So I'm not a big sticker guy, but I'll put one or two under my hood. And they really always take care of you having these German parts available when nobody else does. You can see the top of the oil filter housing there. We had a pretty severe leak from it, dripping all down the side of the block. Why did I paint it blue? Because that's the only color I had at the time. And people don't believe that it was done unless they see it painted, you know. People don't want to take your word for it these days. The thermostat housing. I know the thermostat is built into the thermostat housing, but I removed it from the housing and drilled a 1/4-inch hole, a P hole through it. So there's always a 1/4-inch hole allowing coolant to pass through, no matter whether the thermostat's open or closed. And the result of that is, let's let y'all guys see the dash while I'm here. No check engine lights. We got an airbag light that we need to address over there in the corner, but we'll get to that later. We're at 203 right now. And I really don't think it's going to ever run hot again. I wouldn't worry about it running hot again, because we got a much better upgraded oil catch can system than the original PCV system, which can create problems, raise oil pressure, therefore raising engine temps and things like that. So this engine is going to breathe a lot better, run a lot cooler, and then the 1/4-inch hole we put in that thermostat housing, the new water pump, etc., radiator. On these things we want to use BMW only coolant, and this is what we're putting in it. So don't see this puppy overheating anytime soon. Most of the hoses that are hard to access underneath the intake were all replaced and addressed. The ones that are up top and easy to access still look good. Went ahead and held off on replacing those. This model does have the upgraded LED lights. And we got ourselves a Duralast Platinum battery. I want to give you guys, give AutoZone a shout out on this, because they sure do deserve it. They got a good promo going on, guys. Let me show it to you. They're calling it the worry-free battery guarantee. And they give you this flyer. I mean, I could go through the whole thing here. They put that sticker on the battery. And give you a few seconds to read that. We got roadside assistance, reimbursement for battery, jump start and towing. They're telling you to call that number. Yeah, so they got some limits. They got a number you need to call to get all the information. But the beauty is, most other batteries don't offer any of that, period. So AutoZone, you buy a battery, you get some roadside assistance coverage. That can always come in handy. We're up to temp finally here, guys. The pixels on this cluster are going to need to be addressed. That's on my to-do list. But you can still somewhat read 1:57.703 on the clock. And the interior's in pretty decent shape in here. The guy before me put the aftermarket radio in it. I personally would have liked to still have the original one. I'll see if I can find an original radio somewhere, and one that works, and get the CD changer in the trunk working. But go ahead and have a auxiliary installed with the original radio. This wheel is off because we're getting ready to do some brake pads on it, but give you an outside shot of the car here. Got some stuff on the roof I need to get off of there, but 2002, all black, 530i's, got the small little lip on the trunk, lip up front. It's got the M package, the M Sports package. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm excited to drive it for the first time. We're going to get it down on the ground. Just wanted to run it. This is the first start on major overhaul service. We wanted to make sure we have no leaks. Nobody likes to have a BMW that's a leaker. So we wanted to make sure we have no leaks. And we got a winner. Temp is staying where it needs to be. No vacuum leaks. Engine runs so quiet you can barely hear it. It's loving that new AMSOIL. It's loving all the upgrades. Oh yeah, I didn't give AMSOIL a shout out here. We are running nothing but AMSOIL in it. For those of you that don't know about AMSOIL, I recommend you guys look into it. It's hands down the best oil on the market. Been around since 1972, y'all. I run nothing but AMSOIL in all my vehicles. Everything from the lawnmower to the Beamer to the Jeep to all of it. So AMSOIL will warranty your engine if you have their oil in there and the engine fails due to an oil lubrication. AMSOIL will step up to the plate and reimburse you for the cost of replacing the engine and the labor. No other oil does that. So we went ahead and ran the 530 XL because it's a little cheaper this time, because I wanted to verify that we have no leaks. The first time I did this, I did only the rear main seal, and then after I did the rear main seal, I learned the hard way that I had a bad oil pan gasket, as you can see. So I had spent the money on the 5W40 European weight AMSOIL, which is a little more expensive, and it ended up going out because I had to drop the oil pan to get to do the oil pan gasket again. So I said, knock on wood, let me just put some of the 530 XL in it. If we have no leaks, we'll change it here soon in 5,000 miles and put some of the 5W40 European in it. Anyways, either AMSOIL you go with, we're talking good oil, guys. So You can't go wrong when you go with AMSOIL. Anyways, come to the end of the video here. 20 minutes for those of y'all that hung on and watched. My first E39, had plenty of E36, E46, M3s, E30s, first 5 Series ever. I like the 530i. I think it's one of the better E39s made. Obviously not comparing it to the M5 E39, but outside of the M5s, I think the 530 is one of the better ones made. And 2002, 2003 are the best years if you're looking to get one of these. They're known at this mileage, 150K, to have some leaks, to have some issues. But once you get them sealed up, no leaks, you're good to go. Oh, that's a little bit of water drip from the air condition condensation. We do have the AC running. But yeah, there we go, man. I'm happy, I'm excited. We'll be putting this thing on the road here and enjoying it, leak-free. Take a trip to the beach. I'm in Orlando, Florida area. I think the first place I'm going to take it is out to the Tampa beaches. Enjoy myself a nice 2-hour drive there and back on the highway. Comment, like, share, and subscribe, guys. If you got any questions on these cars, I know I'm pretty well inside and out. I'm here for you. God bless you. Have a good day.